Hi, it is time for Alejandro Mayorkas to be indicted. Alejandro Mayorkas, the Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security under Biden, was not granted a preemptive pardon by Biden before Biden left office. As Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security, he was responsible for the United States border security. He was responsible for maintaining a border that was secure and that only allowed legal immigration into the United States. Mayorkas took an oath to defend the Constitution of the United States. This oath required that Mayorkas would adhere to the law and defend the United States from any form of invasion. Take a look at Mayorkas swearing to defend the Constitution.
Raise your right hand. I, Alejandro Mayorkas,
I, Alejandro Mayorkas,
do solemnly swear
that
I will support and defend
the
Constitution of the United States
Constitution of the United States
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that
I will bear true faith and allegiance
I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the same,
to the same,
that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office on which I am about to enter. So help me God. Congratulations, Mr. Secretary.
Thank you, Madam
Congratulations.
Mayorkas did not honor his oath to defend the U.S. Constitution. He knowingly violated that oath. He lied to the American people and Congress that the United States border was secure under his control.
Secretary Mayorkas, do you continue to maintain that the border is secure?
Yes, and we are working day in and day out to enhance its security, Congressman.
Right. Thanks, sir.
He lied continually throughout his tenure.
This morning, tensions escalating on the Texas border. Dramatic new video shows a struggle between Border Patrol and migrants in El Paso. The video shows dozens of migrants pulling aside a razor wire fence, then pushing their way past a handful of Border Patrol agents.
He, in my opinion, allowed 20+ million illegal aliens to enter the United States. Most of them unvetted, many a risk to national security. All required tax dollars be spent on them, and these tax dollars were taken away from actual citizens of the United States. He allowed and orchestrated an invasion of the United States by these foreigners, these illegal aliens. He allowed the Mexican cartels to funnel illegal aliens and fentanyl into the United States without any effort to stop the flow of either. Yes, he allowed this to happen. It is time that Mayorkas be held accountable for his actions. I will identify some of the specific immigration laws that he intentionally violated. I recommend that he be indicted for violating his oath of office, his intentional violation of immigration laws, and for insurrection and treason against the United States. The Immigration and Nationality Act, INA, was enacted in 1952. The INA reorganized the structure of immigration law. The INA is contained in the United States Code. The U.S. Code is a collection of all the laws of the United States. The laws in Title VIII are laws of the United States that must be followed by anyone who is responsible for securing the borders of the United States. Mayorkas took an oath to do just that. Mayorkas was impeached for his lawlessness, so I thought it appropriate to use the impeachment as a partial guide for this video. A conviction of the impeachment was blocked by the Democrats in the U.S. Senate. The Democrat senators supported Mayorkas' lawlessness. Mayorkas knowingly violated his oath and the following laws. Section 235B2A of the INA requires that applicants for admission who are not clearly and beyond a doubt entitled to be admitted shall be detained for a removal proceeding. Instead of following the law, Mayorkas implemented a catch and release policy. He directed that illegal aliens be unlawfully released into the interior of the United States without any detention as required by law. Section 235B1B2 requires that an alien who is placed into expedited removal proceedings and determined to have a credible fear of persecution or prosecution shall be detained for further consideration of the application for asylum. Mayorkas ignored the detention mandate and directed that these illegal aliens be released into the United States without any mechanisms to ensure appearance before an immigration court. Section 235B1B34 requires that an alien who is placed into expedited removal proceedings and determined not to have a credible fear of persecution shall be detained until removed. Mayorkas directed that these illegal aliens be released into the interior of the United States when the law required that they be removed from the United States. Mayorkas, as demonstrated above, refused to follow another detention mandate as set forth in 236C of the INA. This section required that a criminal alien who is inadmissible or deportable on either criminal or terrorism-related grounds shall be taken into custody when the illegal alien is released from law enforcement custody. Mayorkas refused to comply with this law. Instead, he issued guidelines for the enforcement of civil immigration laws. Mayorkas' guidelines directed the Department of Homeland Security personnel that removal based on the law should not be used as a basis for removal. Can you believe that? The fact that an illegal alien was convicted of a crime should not be the sole reason for a removal. A clear refusal to adhere to Section 236C of the INA. Take a look at Mayorkas' signature on the initial page of the guidelines. The Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals in 2022 declared Mayorkas' guidelines as an abdication of statutory responsibilities. An abdication of statutory responsibilities. But that did not stop Mayorkas. I could go on for much longer outlining the laws that Mayorkas intentionally violated in order to allow the invasion of the United States by illegal aliens and the cartels. But you get the idea. It is obvious that Mayorkas wanted to flood the United States with as many illegal aliens as possible. Now, why would he want to do this? In my opinion, the Democrats, including Mayorkas and Biden, wanted to increase the number of illegals in blue states and blue cities in order to increase the allocation of congressional districts to these blue states. The number of congressional districts a state has is calculated on the number of people in the state, not solely on the number of U.S. citizens in those states. The Democrats, including Mayorkas and Biden, thought that an increase in congressional districts would allow them to control the House of Representatives in the future. Mayorkas and Biden knowingly violated their oaths of office, the U.S. Constitution, and the laws of the United States to increase Democrat political power. Mayorkas and Biden used the power of their offices to force the Border Patrol to throw open the borders of the United States to allow millions of unvetted illegal aliens to invade the United States. Let's discuss force. The definition of force is to directly cause a change. The illegitimate use of one's authority or power is the use of force to cause a change. That cannot be denied. Mayorkas and Biden used the force of their governmental power to destroy the sovereign borders of the United States. The damage they intentionally caused may never be able to be corrected. 18 U.S.C. 2383, insurrection, states whoever incites or engages in any insurrection against the authority of the United States or the laws thereof shall be fined or imprisoned not more than 10 years or both. Insurrection is a forceful challenge to an existing government, its laws, or its representatives. Mayorkas intentionally used the power of his office to force the United States Border Patrol to relinquish its duty to control and defend the borders of the United States. Mayorkas intentionally ordered the Border Patrol to violate numerous laws of the United States in order that millions of illegal aliens would be able to illegally enter the United States without being vetted properly. Now, to obtain a conviction under 18 U.S.C. 2383, the government has to show, 1, there was a wrongful intent, 2, the action resulted in harm to the government, and 3, the harm is imminent. Mayorkas took an oath to defend the U.S. Constitution and, by reference, the laws of the United States. Mayorkas is an attorney and former official of the Department of Homeland Security under Obama, before he became the Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security under Biden. Mayorkas knew that he was obligated to defend the U.S. Constitution and abide by the laws of the United States. Mayorkas intentionally violated his oath and obligation to abide by and follow the immigration laws of the United States. Mayorkas intentionally forced the Border Patrol to violate the laws. Mayorkas violated these laws. Mayorkas violated his oath. He did not faithfully discharge the duties of his office. Mayorkas intentionally violated 5 U.S.C. Section 3331, his oath of office. Mayorkas' actions harmed the United States government. Mayorkas' actions created chaos at the southern border, allowed millions of illegal aliens into the U.S., did not allow them to be vetted correctly by the Border Patrol, compromised national security, created significant costs that both federal and local governments had to absorb, allowed Mexican cartels to control the southern border, and allowed unlimited amounts of fentanyl and other drugs to cross into the United States, which resulted in the deaths of many U.S. citizens. Mayorkas created a state of lawlessness that permeated into the cities of the United States and can still be seen operationally in these cities. It can be seen on a daily basis. The harm created by Mayorkas' actions were immediate and still reverberate throughout the United States. In my opinion, the Department of Justice should be able to put a case together and seek a valid indictment against Mayorkas. The damage he has caused to the United States may never be able to be corrected. Mayorkas' actions have permanently stained the fabric of the United States. Remember that Biden did not issue a preemptive pardon for Mayorkas. He can be prosecuted for his crimes. 18 U.S.C. 2381, treason, states that whoever, owing allegiance to the United States, adheres to their enemies, giving them aid and comfort, is guilty of treason. Mayorkas and Biden took an oath swearing allegiance to the U.S. Constitution and the United States. Both allowed millions of illegal, unvetted aliens to invade through the southern border of the United States. Many of these invaders were gang members, cartel members, and illegal aliens on terrorist watch lists. Most of these illegals were allowed to invade through the southern border without being vetted. These individuals still are present in the interior of the United States and are a national security threat. Many of the individuals were given economic support, housing, and financial support by the Biden administration. Mayorkas and Biden allowed these individuals to enter into and stay in the United States and gave aid and comfort to invaders and threats to the national security of the United States. The prosecutors of the Department of Justice should be able to support a case for treason against Mayorkas. If you have a minute and feel inclined, please contact your congressman, congresswoman, and senators and tell them that you want Mayorkas to be indicted and prosecuted for his crimes against the United States. Well, I hope this helps. Have a good day.